Hello everyone and welcome to a Game Replays Tournament Season 4 Finals matchup here between former DWI, now Complexity Gaming, versus Fnatic MSI. Duking it out here for the first place prize of $1,400, 2,200 gold coins, and 5 SteelSeries Siberia V2 headsets going to the first place winner there, about a $80 value apiece. And second place prize is going to be $700 plus 1,200 gold coins and 5 SteelSeries 4H headsets, about a $60 value each. We would like to thank our sponsors, TeamSpeak 3, Own TV, and SteelSeries Professional Gaming Gear for making this tournament possible. I am Minoxen and I am joined with Onaprayer. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Looking forward to the finals game. It's been, what, a 3-month process or so?
It's been stretched out a bit, but we're finally here. We're getting to see the folks who have made it all the way here. Actually, speaking on that, MSI managed to defeat the new SK in the last, I guess, in the semis here, leading up to this match. The former EG taking them down. I can't remember the score. I think it was 2-1. And then DWI managed to beat XSK, which is Angry Testy and his crew, to get to this point as well. So I'm going to probably say DWI a couple times, but it is Complexity Gaming, their new sponsor. So definitely looking forward to this matchup. The bans are already out. Do you want to go ahead and touch on the bans there? I mean, you pretty much already had this laid out on paper, so should be easy work for you.
Yeah, really unsurprised. I mean, no one looking at this, knowing both teams, will be surprised at the bans. Wild Soul, Polywog Priest, both going to be banned against MSI. Same for Pharaoh. Hellbringer is pretty much picked up by both of these teams, not surprising. Plague Rider, since Jerzai was banned, and that's pretty much what now Complexity Gaming, formerly DWI, picked as a counter to him. So since he's not able to pick up, they're going to ban Plague Rider because he is really rough to face against, both in lane and since he's a solo laner in a team fight. Torture, not surprising. You know, Toronto's famous for playing Torture. So pretty much, yeah, like I said, just really unsurprising, pretty standard.
Absolutely. As I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted at the chat here. They've been discussing whether or not to auto-ban the newest S2 heroes. I guess the Revenant probably being one of the key ones there, or possibly even Warden. But I've seen MSI running Revenant there in their lineup in some of these little matches I've managed to watch on streams or otherwise, and definitely plays strongly with them. So would like to see it, but I don't think that we're probably going to, given the discussion we have going forth here.
Yeah, they probably play him as a solo laner, right?
Yeah, that's whenever I've seen him.
Yeah, because he does have pretty decent range, decent auto attack. Like, he has everything going for him to be a solo laner, and then he could use the levels. So any hero that can put those early levels to good use, as good as a solo laner. And picks, yeah, like I said, really not surprising. In fact, MSI getting 3 of their really strongest picks, I guess secondary picks, after Plague Rider and Polywog Priest. They've gone with their secondary picks, which is Silhouette mid and the Kraken side lane. I don't know, I think they run him more as a tri-lane instead of a solo lane Kraken, but he's definitely capable of going in either direction. And Slither either they can do the Slither or the Kraken for the solo, or they can put both of them in the tri-lane. So they're really leaving things open with their picks. They're not giving too much away.
Yep, as we do see that pick going out. I'm sorry, I'm somewhat distracted by all this chatter going on. I'm trying to keep track of what they actually have going. It does look like, at least from the shadow picks, they are just going to go ahead and ignore the Revenant. We nearly have the full Legion team picked out. Have Toronto going to be going on the Magnus so far, swapped out from his Andromeda. Zaku going to be on Corrupted Disciple, Soul Stealer, Slicks there, and Ja on Andro. Have to see what they go ahead and decide to pull up for Kiwi Kid. And as you said, yeah, they're probably going to go ahead and run that Silhouette to the middle, I'm guessing, since, well, that's an odd shadow pick.
Yeah, it's been a while since they've really been waiting for this, because there was talk, if they're actually going to go with those picks, there was talk of them picking Flux for a really long time, but they've never actually showcased it. Wow, there we go.
There we go. Amun-Ra.
Damn, big plays.
For sure. We do have the MSI completely picked out now. We have Kraken, Slither, Silhouette, Amun-Ra, and Tempest finishing out the lineup there. So,
and random Amun-Ra. I think you want TS.
Oh, what the... I did not notice that he randomed. Okay. I was going to say
Yeah.
that kind of makes the situation a little odd there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now I should be paying more attention to the text down there instead of when I was before. So, that's funny.
Yeah, definitely would have been an odd pickup. There we go. So I, wait, what?
We're remaking regardless.
Okay, I think both teams are deciding to...
So are they actually going Demented Shaman is what they're saying they're going to go with?
and
I've
they're
actually
saying
seen
Flux
No-Tail
instead of Vindicator.
playing him middle a lot lately on his stream, and that would be actually interesting if that's something that they decided to do, but we'll just have to... I wouldn't anticipate it, but...
COL is saying they want Flux instead of Vindicator, which I would be surprised if they actually swapped that out.
I think that's probably just lulzing.
They're just, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't surprised. It was going to be Vindicator or Jeremiah picked up by DWI. That's just heroes they really like to run. They feel like it's really strong counter to most heroes in the game. And it's pretty much true.
Well, it can really mess up an initiation. That's the key thing with Vindicator or Jeremiah. You know, you throw out the ultimate on Jeremiah or Vindicator, and you know most activity ceases there because you're not able to really put out any more damage. So here comes the remake. We're going to be getting back into a new game with.
Well, it kind of
Shaman.
sealed the deal when they picked the Tempest. That's pretty much. I mean, if not for the fact they already, you know that the DWI or Complexity now already likes to pick the Vindicator. Having a Tempest on the opposing team is like, you know, pretty much a sure bet that they were going to go with that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a matter of sitting back and waiting until that crucial moment whenever you get that chance to go ahead and pop that ulti and interrupt the Tempest there, because it's a huge teamfight potential. I mean, it's not so much of a powerful negative, I guess, you know, offensive use. I guess it can be, but definitely a really solid defensive use ultimate.
Well, basically you want to hit level 6, and then you just stay in the fountain, and just press R at the appropriate time, and do nothing else. That's pretty much Vindicator for you.
Yep.
Nah, I'm joking. DWI or Complexity, rather. They play him as a carry. Toronto plays the, you know, they'll play him as a straight-out carry. And I've seen a few games where he dishes out a hell of a lot of damage come late game. So he does manage to get him farmed up. That's typically the problem people have, especially the recent change to Alchemist Bones to make it a little bit harder to use, because it was just too good. So it was changed. I think it was 20 seconds tacked on to the cooldown, something like that.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
it was 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Do you think
So
we're
it's
going to
not
have a
like
gentleman's
major-
agreement about the Soul's Bulwark, or are we going to see that on every team here? I know that's a current
what's wrong
hot
with
topic of discussion.
Really?
The Soul's Bulwark. You know, 1,800 gold for the possibility of a -5 armor aura right from the get-go there.
I was discussing this with someone was asking me what I thought about the changes, which was funny to me because, you know, asking me. But I did say that with a lot of the recent patches, S2's they're trying to lower the effects of the items, and they're trying to make them cheaper. Like the change to Desolator. Sorry, what is it? The Shieldbreaker.
Shieldbreaker, yeah.
They made a change to the Astrolabe to make it, you know, they removed the armor effect, but it's, you know, it's cheaper now. So they're trying to make items more viable to pick up earlier in the game, but they're making them less effective. So it's definitely a really strong item, but I don't think they're going to argue about picking it up. I mean, it's a really popular pickup, the Demonic Breastplate. It's not like people aren't going to get it. So I don't see how they can say... Yeah.
Well, I mean, you at least had some of the benefit before of being able to pick up your plate mail and your chain mail to go ahead and have the extra armor count. It's just that now you can have, you know, you can give everyone else an extra 5 armor. And at least whenever I was listening to I believe it was the No-Tail stream there, they were discussing the 15 armor. They were really emphasizing 15 armor as far as becoming invincible. I know that they were teasing to some degree, but I guess that is a pretty good breaking point to where you can see a significant damage reduction. That might be the curve of the armor reduction efficiencies, to where it starts to slack off.
I can see where he's going with that. Maybe from what he says, seems like he's trying to say is that it should be more of a minus armor thing, and you can't make it a positive, because on top of already getting the armor effects from having it, you're going to get an extra 5 on top of it. I can see how that's pretty strong for the amount you're spending on it.
Yeah, I mean, that was what they were always talking. It was a Lulzy game that was the one where they're mostly talking about it, but it was interesting to hear them making mention of it. So I was kind of curious to see.
Yeah, but if
they kept
if you
it on the
think about
positive
it,
armor the entire time. They didn't hardly use the negative aspect of it at all. So curious to see how they use Soul's Bulwark and
well, if you think
much.
about it, they were planning to pick up the Minute Shaman this game.
Yeah,
But
that is what they ran with that
Astrolabe
too.
doesn't have, right? It doesn't have a positive armor.
No, it
effect, or
doesn't.
is that so? You could look at it as if they're not going to be able to have an Astrolabe to buff their armor. They'll be able to have a Demonic Breast, well, the Soul's Bulwark. But that's pretty much that lasts forever. It doesn't really dissipate, so you can say that it is a little too strong. And they were planning, like I said, to pick up the Minute Shaman, which is another obviously armor boosting hero. So
Also,
it looks
sure
like
to
they
give
are
me
going
an
to go with
invite.
that strat. Yeah. Oh, sure.
So yeah, I'm really
Gonna
curious.
have a
It
bad
is
pick.
definitely a big change for sure, and looking forward to seeing how it's used. I myself have had a lot of fun with it, at least on Legionnaire. It's a pretty nice pickup for him. That -5 armor adds so much more to your spins from an early standpoint, and pushing strats are definitely a lot more feasible since you don't have to wait so absolutely long for that negative armor aura. But you can pick that up real quick and then do a good strong push.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to really test it, but it applies to buildings too. The
Yes.
minus armor.
Yep, it's basically the exact same negative armor aura that Demonic had. Now
I
whether
thought
that
they
needs to
would
be
remove
nerfed or not, I don't know.
I thought that it wouldn't be. I thought it would only be in the completed breastplate to have the minus armor on buildings. I didn't realize it would
whether
still be in
it's
Soul's Bulwark.
it's
Yeah, that's
currently
pretty.
not meant to
They
be, or
definitely
if it
could use
does.
some
But yeah.
tweaking, because that is too strong. Because you can get that early in the game, and then all of a sudden you have pushing strats with the -5 armor early, because it's not that expensive. Yeah, that I thought they wouldn't do that, because that didn't make sense to me that it would be there. But
Yeah,
looks
we've
like
been
it
having
is,
fun
so.
with Ophelia push strats with that. So just picking up a bunch of creeps, rushing Bulwark, and then they just can't stop you from taking down the tower. It's just way too much DPS. That and Tord.
Yeah, definitely could use some tweaking. But the other items, yeah, this one I think more than any other. The other ones are fine. The other changes.
Yeah, the
pretty much
Energizer,
small
I think we
tweaks.
only got to see that one game, and we didn't even get to see it
Yeah.
used, unfortunately. But
Yep. Call it my bunny.
I'm still waiting on an invite here.
Well, looks like they're still waiting for one on complexity side too. So
Oh, okay.
I did ask them to invite you.
All right, great. What else can we discuss? Since I'm assuming that we are still live streaming, so
Did you write down the picks? Cause
the picks? No, I didn't.
can't even remember anything.
Or the bands, I should have. I'm usually pretty good
No,
about
the bands
that.
I
but-
remember. Just the picks. I don't know.
Well, you already had those
really...
pre-written out there. So
Yeah.
that's cheating.
We're gonna do the
Well,
bands
it's
again
kind of
anyway.
obvious.
I
These two
suppose.
teams have been. I mean, people.
They're not
have
just
gotten
gonna
a
go all
chance to see
pick?
them. I have no idea.
Usually on remakes, they'll just go ahead and make a null
Yeah.
pick and run with it.
Yeah, the banning pick. I don't know. Maybe it was on accident.
Could have been force of habit.
I will mention it. Well, for those just tuning in, they will have a chance to see it, because it looks like they're going to remake it as BP, so they're going to do the same
Okay.
stuff over. So.
All right. Yeah, and for those of you who are joining us just now, I guess, this is the Game Replays Tournament Season 4 matchup between now Complexity Gaming, formerly DWI, versus Fnatic MSI. We're currently in between matches, at least, I don't know if our streamer's in there and getting, so you can see what's going on, but I'm sitting in the lobby, so... But here we go, I got an invite. So, definitely looking forward to this matchup. Gonna have to see how it pans out, as DWI is definitely one of the most, gonna keep doing that. Complexity Gaming is definitely one of the most powerful US teams here, especially since, the reformation from EG to SK and XSK, I guess. I'm not even sure if they're still running with the XSK banner or not, since it was pretty much Angry Testy and his crew.
Yep, they've definitely been around quite a while, so it's nice to see them pick up the sponsorship. Definitely deserve it. They've
Absolutely.
always been a really strong team.
Absolutely. And who are we waiting on from?
Fly.
Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, I was scrolling down to see if he was sitting in the chat or not.
Yeah, he disconnected a minute or two ago. I'm not sure why.
I see, I see. So we are going to go through the banning phase here again.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they'll just go ahead and ban heroes they know that weren't picked, just to accelerate the process, but we'll just have to see. I'm trying to think of some recent changes here that we can possibly discuss to fill the downtime since we are currently streaming.
You mean the boomstick Flint?
Yeah, the boomstick Flint. Oh, I want that so bad. If only I played Flint. I'm a big dwarf fanatic. I really think that they need to do an audio pack for the new Tundra thing instead of having it just be the rumbles and grumbles of the old Tundra. Since he has a dwarf riding on him, you know, do something similar as to what they did with the boomstick Flint.
Yeah, I remember people complaining about it, that they thought there should be an added voice pack because the skin looks awesome, but there's no change in sound set, so it was a little lackluster. I do hope that they do that because it's always fun to have like a totally different experience with a hero. To have just a different skin, but it sounds the same. I don't know. Seems like it'd be easy enough to do, just to swap it out.
Yeah. Oh crap! There we go. That should hopefully get my recording going again. But yeah, that was one thing that I was really excited to see that, and they did a good job, I think, with the voice acting and everything on the new skin for him. Haven't got to play with it. I don't own the skin yet, so probably won't bother picking it up since I'm not going to be playing on Flint.
Yeah, I play Flint quite a lot. The only problem is I have a really sweet custom skin for him that I'm not sure.
Oh, the glowing purpley one that I've seen on your stream?
The Orc Mage one.
I see, I see.
I don't know. There's something about throwing fireballs in people's faces. It's just super appealing.
Okay, here we go. The game's going to finally go ahead and roll out here. We're going to maybe go and go through the bans again yet. The one thing, I don't know if they made any changes to any of the people that they were picking up. I guess the Slither's poison spray was hitting units directly behind him if they were too close. So, a minor nerf there. Probably one of those things didn't happen too terribly often. But if we were going to see... Oh yeah, with his...
hit people behind him with the ultimate as well, yeah. I think it's probably a similar mechanic that caused that to happen.
And it was just all lulzy bans, so we're not going to get any help on that. But,
it was...
Surprised they didn't make a smiley.
Myrmidon, Hellbringer, Jeraziah, Plague Rider, and Polywog Priest and Wild Soul.
There we go. So, oh, they did go ahead and go with the Flux. Is that?
Yep. So they mentioned that they wanted to swap it out. Who did they pick beforehand?
It was Vindy, which we had discussed. There was still a pretty strong potential.
That's surprising me, especially.
I mean, that was in our pre-game discussion. You were talking about the possibility of going for a Vindy or a Jerry ban, and if they didn't ban one, then they were going to probably pick the other. So interesting that they left him out of the mix, and you know, they are going for a Flux, which has a good synergy with the Magnus and Soul Stealer, and even Corrupted Disciple to some degree.
And he's a pretty good counter as well to the Tempest and Kraken. He can just really distort a team fight. Like everyone always says, positioning has always been the most important element in the game, just having the proper positioning, and Flux is one of the best heroes in screwing up your opponent's positioning, because he just obviously, just gravity, too strong.
Absolutely. Sorry, I'm getting some whispers. I'm going to go ahead and go Do Not Disturb. I'm being solicited in inappropriate ways by a Mr. Walsey, so... Alright, so we have the game up here. We do go ahead and see the Legion team fully picked out, as with the Flux there, which we had just talked about, with his he is kind of the counter there to Tempest as well, which you were just saying there prior. We're going to see Silhouette going mid as expected. Kraken, where is he going to go ahead and roll out to? Is he heading up towards top? He's kind of venturing. There we go. Yep, looks like the...
Yeah, with the Tempest, they're going to run the solo lane Tempest. We've seen it a couple of times from the old... Well, now PHB, they used to like running the solo lane Tempest. Even MSI has a history of running solo lane Tempest. So not that surprising. And they prefer to run... I've seen Trixie do solo lane Kraken, but typically they run him in the tri-lane. They have strong synergy of their own right. The only thing that they're missing, I'm going to say, is the Plague Rider element is so strong in their previous games in the tournament that it's really made a huge difference. Like, it's had like a huge impact. The Tempest, when you have a Flux counting the team, I don't see their heroes having as large an impact earlier game as their previous lineups in the tournament. So just going to have to see how the tri-lane versus tri-lane situation works out. But just offhand, their team doesn't seem to be as strong when you match it up against, you know, complexities.
We seem to be having some issue with Jaw being able to get back into the game, I guess. Might have done a quick restart or something like that to get Han up and rolling. In the meanwhile, I was going to note that looks like Tempest is going to go ahead and go for the early deny on middle. Or he might go ahead and do it bottom. He's kind of in between there, I would assume middle, but see if he can get that little bit of extra gold and experience denied from the lane before it even becomes an issue. Also manning up and giving Demented Shaman a couple of Ward of Sights in addition to one that he's carrying himself. So 3 wards already purchased at this point and a full Flying Courier. Unban Jaw.
Sorry.
Wow.
Alright. I'll just let it be known that I'm pretty tired, but I find this to be very funny.
Just a disclaimer, so if he gets a few extra giggles in, you probably know the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, he just got GM banned, so even though it's, you know, seems to be childish, but I find it to be very funny, you know, 4 or 5 hours sleep. See? Well, I doubt they're funny, but... In any event, let's, just looking, alright, so let's see. Their lanes are pretty obvious.
What does the rulebook say if you get banned? Well, in-game. Nice.
Yeah, so Flux, typically, I would expect him to go in the tri-lane because until he levels up his... Which one is the one that gives him the extra attack range? That's Polarity Swap, right?
Yeah, his Polarity Swap.
Right, so I would expect him to go in the tri-lane because his Polarity Swap, I doubt he's going to level it up early. I would expect him to get 1 level in both Magnetic Surge and Discharge, and then max out his Release. So, because that's actually his only nuke farming ability, and he can actually do more in the tri-lane with it. He may max out his Magnetic Surge. I obviously haven't seen Flux played all that often, in fact, ever, in a competitive game, you know, like in tournament competitive games.
I don't think that I have either. I think the only times I've seen him played has just been, you know, catching it on the streams there, which is actually a really nice thing to make sure. Obviously, you guys are currently watching the Game Replays live stream, so if you guys are ever interested, while we're not doing a tournament coverage or anything like that, be sure to check out a lot of the other live streamers. Some of the people that are in this game actually currently live stream, so be sure to check those guys out. I'm sure it helps them out, and it's definitely entertaining, so...
Apparently he got banned for griefing in a pub game.
Griefing in a pub? Well, sometimes when you get stuck with some folks, you might just be a little angry. We'll just have to assume.
Well, ironically, I've had experience. Jaws griefed in some matchmaking games that I've been in.
Yeah, I watched him, he griefed in, what was that? There was, I think, it was a live stream event there to where he joined up with this crew and was running middle, and they were giving him absolutely no support in middle, and he kept getting ganked and was just, you know, having a hard time there on the Defiler, and finally he just said, screw it, screw you guys, and left. So they ended up losing the game miserably, but I guess that could be considered griefing, just abandoning like that, and after making it clear his reasons for leaving.
Yeah, you see. So Ja will admit it. That's always, I like that. He's not gonna, you know, not gonna be like, well, I don't know what you guys are talking about. He's like, yeah, I've done stuff.
Let's get it on.
Alright, so it's really not surprising. Nova, if anyone's watched MSI recently, that you'll know that they run a Cursed a lot with a Puppet Master on their team, so having the Demented Shaman's kind of a similar situation. It's not so much an offensive tri-lane as it is really hard to kill their tri-lane because they have a hero backing you up that's just making it impossible for you to jump anyone. So Trixie's, it's It settles the ability, because mostly if you have a melee and a tri lane, he has a hard time farming. So having a backup in a Demented Shaman who can heal you and shield you if you get in trouble, it gives you an easier time of things. So I can see why they went that.
And Tempest did go ahead and deny a creep for the bottom lane there. Fresh Pro trying to help him out there a little bit on that Slither. So that's a nice little bit of a gift there to him. Magnus roaming around down in the bottom along with Andromeda, hoping to be able to catch someone coming up to throw up the counter ward down here. The bird from Nova is doing a nice little bit of counter scouting to help out, though. They do have a Ward of Rev, so they are going to be able to counter the pull ward as well. So already a nice little bit coming out there from MSI.
Yeah, nice job with the bird.
Yeah. Doing that little bit of extra so he doesn't get caught unawares. However, they are not going to go ahead and use that Ward of Rev to get their pull back to him just yet, which is kind of peculiar. And they're running Soul Stealer bottom and allowing Corrupted Disciple to go mid against this Silhouette, who seems to be giving him a very, very hard time.
Yeah, the problem with having Corrupted is... Well, it's not really so much because he can use his Corrupted Conduit on Slither and kind of force him out of the lane. I think they just want to give Soul Stealer rather an easier time of things. Like between the two, you might have said that either of them could have gone bottom lane, whether it was Corrupted or Soul Stealer. But I think they would rather Soul Stealer get a better farm and go bottom than have him mid and really suffer against Silhouette. And the Corrupted Conduit would do a lot more.
Yeah, the
yeah, like I was about to say, yeah, the Corrupted Conduit will go a lot further against Silhouette than it will against Slither, and in terms of the ease of farming, it's a lot better to have Soul Stealer at bottom with his nukes, who can offer a lot more fight against Slither. So really nice job with their laning.
Definitely well done there, as he did get the Corrupted Conduit off and was draining the damage pretty much consistently, and you know, of course, No Tail turning around and getting those hits off whenever possible. Stuck around just a little bit too long, and they unfortunately ended up getting mana for an Electric Tide, and that was enough to finish that fight. So a nice little bit of turn there going for... Oh, I'm going to have to keep... Complexity Gaming. Got to keep looking at my paper. To help them out a little bit in that mid situation. They did go ahead and... Complexity has completely abandoned the top lane, which, you know, isn't hugely surprising in these competitive games. You'll see that happen a lot. When there's a tri-lane up there, they'll just say, nah, to heck with it. We'll just leave it and try and do a little bit of jungle. You'll see that happen with Pharaoh, or sometimes even Slither, who's in that solo lane and not getting much out of it. As mid, we do have Magnus coming in with a stun, a follow-up with a Comet, and down goes Silhouette once again. Nice bit of roaming support coming in. Magnus eating some unfortunate tower shots there, but helping out his Corrupted Disciple all the more. Corrupted now sitting comfortably on top of 506 gold per minute 3 minutes into the game. Of course, that's, you know, going to drop down really drastically. He's sitting on, I guess the most important thing is that he's sitting on 496 gold and has spent 1,600 or so. So already
really
getting a
nice
little early advantage.
If you look in the jungle, Complexity has stacked the jungle really, really early for the Soul Stealer. So it's just as soon as he hits level 5, I assume he'll just run in there and give Flux the chance to get in lane, and then he'll just run in jungle and pick up all those, and it'll be really, really good for both of them.
Yeah, that's going to definitely help out. And Flux actually trying to sit here, Toronto on that Flux, by the way, sitting in the edge of the woods here next to this Soul Stealer, hoping to pick up some experience. Trying to get a little bit of levels there going, since he had, you know, he was basically forced to try and jungle from level 1, which on Flux is not really the easiest thing to do, like some of those other solo laners that get forced to do it. Just, you know, he was basically half HP trying to take down an easy camp. But they're not giving this Fresh Pro an easy time down here either, as here we go, here comes the gank. The stun from Magnus going to be followed up with the pull from Flux, and actually, who picked that up? Teal. Oh, Magnus picking up the kill there on that. I would have assumed they were going to try and give that to a Soul Stealer, or even maybe Flux.
Yeah, them auto attacks.
Yeah. Not the most difficult thing to give away, though, in that circumstance. Not like he was going to be running away. Better safe than sorry, though. So what are we sitting at here on this middle situation still yet? I know Silhouette's not going to be having that great of a time. Sitting currently at 188 gold per minute. Of course, this Corrupted is still sitting comfortably at 400 or so. Magnus going to be discovered middle, forced out from the Silhouette. They're trying to set up another gank. Looking forward to that, as it's 3-0 currently, and top tower going down Tempest coming out of the jungle, going to be going ahead and using his creeps for that added pushing potential. And Kraken getting some nice, I guess, abandoned farm, I guess as you'd call it. You know, he's been left to his own devices, getting his farm built up. And just, I mean, look how gutsy he is, just all the way up here at this second-tier tower. He might end up paying for it as Andromeda's moving into position and Flux coming in here as well. Unfortunately, he is a level 5 Kraken, so it's not going to be real easy to do much against at this point.
Yeah, there is benefit to it. It's going to allow Flux to just sit in lane. And since lane is just pushed back so incredibly far, it's going to be really hard. Like you said, it's just so gutsy for them to stick around here. They might do it, and it's going to be really, really risky. They don't... It's too early in the game, but they might actually put up a ward there in that little statue area.
And here it comes. Is Magnus going to be fast enough? I don't think so. No, he is not. Unfortunately, the farm on Kraken has gotten him a pair of Ghost Marchers, and with those, he was able to swiftly dodge the incoming gank. Speaking of gank, looks like something might be getting ready to happen here middle. They have a Tempest and Demented Shaman looping around, maybe coming towards top even with this Tempest. He is level 6. He does have his ultimate up. He's got a full bottle. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I seem to remember a game fairly recently in the GR tournament where No Tail on had a really rough time as well.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there. Tempest was ready to initiate. Kraken came charging forward and then was like, no, I changed my mind. I'm going to go ahead and back it up. So starts to back it up, but Tempest unfortunately already used his stun. So little mistiming there. I don't know that they would have gotten a kill out of that either, simply because the support was there with the Magnus. But nice support there still coming out from this Complexity Gaming.
Yeah, it looks like they really want to push the advantage. Since it's so early in the laning phase, they really feel secure in the fact that Complexity's not going to come down there and really do much to stop them, because they'd have to send too much to really do anything. Since Kraken already has Ghost Marchers, he can really get out of there really quickly. And ultimate on Tempest, so they feel comfortable
and ultimate
pushing.
on Kraken now, as he just hit level 6. So yeah, definitely going to take a lot of firepower to take down this Kraken in this top lane, and the pushing power coming out from MSI with this Tempest as well is just pretty devastating, as they currently already are sitting on a 2,700 gold lead, or experience lead, and a 1,900, almost 2,000 gold lead. As bottom, we had Slither go down to this Soul Stealer. Very unfortunate for him. He's already having a hard enough time down here, but unfortunately gets picked up by the Soul Stealer.
Yeah, like I was saying, just those nukes really cause him to outlane Slither. Slither's more of a damage over time, and damage over time versus nuking power is really no contest.
For sure, and we've got it's hard to keep track of where everyone's going, because the roaming coming out from this Legion team here so far, even a little bit, not so much from the Hellborn so far, but I mean, we've got a level 2 Andromeda and a level 3 Magnus roaming around right now. While you have an 8 Soul Stealer and 7 Corrupted, so they're definitely sticking to their guns here and hoping to be able to roam their way to victory in this early and, you know, guarantee themselves some good farm on these other heroes. As Silhouette with the haste coming in here, they're not probably going to go and be able to finish her off since he does have the haste. A nice little bit of a block going out, but being turned around swiftly onto this Magnus. The bird actually being attacked now. Oh, nice shield going out onto the courier. Silhouette coming in here to try and finish off Soul Stealer. Does have plenty of backup coming. Soul Stealer's got to get out of there. And here comes the charge from Kraken. He gets the slow off the ultimate to follow it up, and here goes a Soul Stealer going down. Nice attempt to try and get some extra damage out, but unfortunately against 4 players, just not much you can do. They do spot the triple stack, so they're going to go ahead and try and finish this up, denying the Soul Stealer that nice little bit of farm that his support have worked so hard in earning him. So that's very unfortunate. That's going to definitely help out the lead to expand in MSI's favor. Almost a 4,000 experience lead there after taking that Soul Stealer, who's worth a good chunk of experience at this point since he's already level 8. You know, still beating out everyone else on the Hellborn team, but that's definitely a nice boost in MSI's favor. Just touching on, I was wanting to see about mentioning the warding. French Pro has been doing a really good job about keeping himself safe. I wanted to mention this, using that Toxin ward and throwing it off to the side of the lane there, trying to help himself against any potential ganks, just, you know, taking the time to go and do that. He's maintaining decent levels, which is still yet impressive, even though he is at a disadvantage in this bottom lane. So, well done to him. Definitely going to applaud him for throwing that out there. And keeping just a really good awareness, as there we go. There's the gank being foiled, as we have Andromeda running into one and Magnus running into the other down at bottom. And in resultant, we have Fresh Pro backing up to the tower. So nicely
Yeah,
done there with that bit of awareness.
Yeah, nice job. Also forcing resources down to his lane, freeing up middle and top so they don't have to worry as much. As top lane, looks like, yep, double damage can be bottled by Tempest. Can he get ahead of Corrupted Disciple on that one as, oh, there.
Yeah, oh dear, we have Demented Shaman going to be going down, does throw the poison out onto Corrupted Disciple, trying to slow him up, but wow, just way too much damage coming out from Corrupted Disciple as he takes down Tempest. Kraken trying to do a little bit of a loop around here maybe on Flux, or is he just going to go ahead and back it up since they're not sure? Oh, and Magnus going down middle actually to Silhouette. Sorry, I missed that on my camera. Hopefully the streamer was able to catch that. Hard to keep up with all of the action. But take a glance at bottom tower there and the defense tower, how well defended that defense tower is right now. Pretty entertaining as Corrupt Disciple maybe going to be going down. He's trying to do something, work onto Kraken, stealing his damage. Flux and him doing some nice work. They do manage to take down Kraken, which is quite the achievement given how powerful he is right now. He's just pretty much had free farm ever since the beginning. Even after that death, he's still sitting comfortably at about 276 gold per minute. So a nice job there to Kraken. Of course, you know, once Kraken gets built, he's just so hard to take down, and like you said, they have to dedicate so many resources to doing just that, that it kind of becomes, you know, counterproductive at that point.
Yeah, just the nick of it. When he used Kraken charged into Corrupted Disciple, he just missed dragging him into the wall, which would have netted him an easy kill, but Kiwi Kid doing a nice job sidestepping just enough so it didn't catch him up in its wake, I guess you could call it. I'm just gonna check pings real quick, just see if it's nothing really significant. Like
nothing too crazy. I'm showing Fly at 216 right now, and Slick's at 317, so I guess that kind of balances itself out. But Slick's at 317, that might be a little bit of a detrimental ping. At least that's what I got when I did it. So.
Yeah, I have 300, which is pretty much the same. He's used to it though, but I think the way it works is anything 180 and under isn't, like, there's a difference, but it's not noticeable enough to really impact your style of gameplay. But you would have to have like prior experience. Like, you can't just come into it and being used to your 50 ping then all of a sudden get 180. That will be a difference, but in general it doesn't matter as much unless it's over 200. You really start to notice it and it affects you.
Oh, top, we've got a gank of the supports coming out, and unfortunately they're going to get caught in a Tempest ultimate. Nicely done there, waiting patiently off to the side and getting that done. Flux throwing out the ultimate to try and escape, not going to happen as he gets taken down by Nova there. Kraken throwing out an ultimate, catching Soul Stealer and Corrupted Disciple within it. The Corrupted Conduit going out there, taking and stealing that Kraken's damage. Barely going to survive, throwing up the health pot. The pursuit is over though now, and looks like MSI is going to make it out of that one with a nice little advantage, taking down the whole support for the Legion team.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. They just gimped like you said, the entire support for Complexity just got gimped by that Tempest ultimate. So that's very unfortunate. And Flux couldn't counter it, obviously being caught in it, can't do anything about it. Try to use ultimate afterwards, but that's obviously too little, too late.
Yeah, that was definitely a nice play from MSI. You know, sitting patiently off to the side was Demented Shaman, and Tempest making his way slowly but surely there, was able to set up a nice gank on that. And he does, of course, as we saw just in that action, he does have his portal key. Tempest does have portal key. Ultimate on cooldown right now, so we're probably not going to see that for a while yet. But that is the key to, you know, any good Tempest, landing those ultimates where you get 3 or more players in there to where they're completely helpless, no way to stop you. So nice play there coming out from MSI as Slither still trucking along. He's still doing business here. He's at level 9, trying to keep something moving for himself. Currently sitting at 250 gold per minute, so actually doing pretty respectable given his situation as Soul Stealer goes down to the Silhouette volley and eating, yeah, very unfortunate. Goes down there very quickly. Silhouette getting closer to that level 11, which might help her out just a bit. As wow, the Slither with these wards is just entertaining, as we are going to see another good push coming out with Tempest at bottom. No one really here to help defend. They've got the supports Magnus and Andromeda, but they're just so underleveled at this point. Facing off against a level 10 Tempest and a level 9 Slither, there's not much they can do. Nice warding coming out from Slither, guarding the entire wood, so they know they're not going to be jumped from that angle. Andromeda going up that way and finding the ward, so looks like they might go ahead and try and pick her off if they can get lucky. Nope, she's going to go ahead and back it up. And Slither tossing out one more ward to add injury to insult right at the entrance to the jungle as they continue their efforts on this push bottom.
Yeah. Andromeda's trying to stay off to the side, although he did net himself some experience over there. I think they're hoping to get level 6 on Magnus so he can actually, contribute, although his stun's obviously really good, but level 6, that ultimate's going to help them out. They're going to be able to try to combo with the Flux ultimate, which is... Let's see. Yep, it's off cooldown. What is the cooldown? I don't think it's that large.
No,
like
it's not a very
half.
big... cooldown 100 seconds on his ultimate, on Flux's.
Yeah,
so
it's
yeah,
about a
around
minute and a
that.
half.
As we see, we have 3 of the Hellborn coming here at bottom, and Soulstealer coming in through the woods might be in a bad situation, though. Magnus using his Steam Bath to get out of this situation. Unfortunately, sitting still and taking it like a man, all of the punishment that was coming out to him. So it goes down very quickly there, sitting in his Steam Bath, just hoping and praying, I guess. He had his Lava Surge up, so I'm not sure really why he didn't try and evade a little more out of that, but this bottom tower is most likely going to be going down here. They've got Silhouette roaming in from mid. Corrupt Disciple is here to join up with Soulstealer and Andromeda. I just don't think they're going to be able to stop this, and hopefully it doesn't leave Andromeda in a bad spot here. As, yes, the tower goes down, and now Andromeda is in a horrible spot. Going to be taken down very quickly. Should have followed Soulstealer's advice there and gone ahead and backed out at that same time as him, gone out through the jungle there as the tower was falling. And top we have Flux actually chasing down a Kraken. Here we go, the pull coming in, the continuous auto attacks as he's going to be able to try and keep up, but no, he has a whole creep wave on him now. Doesn't want to pursue too far. He's pretty sure that they're going to have support coming in to help. So Magnus coming here as well. Magnus is level 6 now, has his Striders and pretty much nothing else, but he is getting at least a little bit of somewhere.
Yeah, just gonna throw out there, the Flux, I thought he was gonna get the nuke over his Magnetic Surge and Polarity Swap, keeping those at level 1, but he has in fact, he went for the early Magnetic Surge level 4, and now he's leveling up his Polarity Swap to increase his attack range, and keeping his release, that's his first skill, AoE nuke and slow, only at level 1.
I see. Kind of interesting methodology to go. I was kind of in your same camp on that too, but as far as what I would have imagined him going for, because that release is really a nice AoE nuke there that he can use. Pardon me, that he can use to farm up a creep lane. On the rare occasion that I've gotten to play as or play with him, it's a really nice farming tool. And since he's been given, solo top lane to be able to do his little bit of farm there and keep that up, it's kind of peculiar because whenever I have played on him, his Magnetic Surge doesn't really seem to do a tremendous amount of damage since it is. I mean, the pull, I don't think that the pull gets any further or the push gets any further on it. It's just your strength multiplier and base damage gets increased each time.
Yeah, I think the increase is based on your third skill. So once you level that up, then the pull will actually, that it's a stronger pull once you level up Polarity Swap. But it is a really short cooldown and doesn't require a lot of mana, so you can actually get a few creeps with that as well.
Oh, I
so
guess that's
really
more of a guaranteed kind of a last-hitting tool instead of going for the full-out farm plan.
Yeah, you can use that since it's a 4-second cooldown. It's only costs 50 mana per pull, so he can use that to get himself a creep kill if he needs to. And I think the slow effect on release doesn't really adjust per level, so it'll still do the same amount of slowing, just not as much damage, which I thought in like a team fight you'd want the AoE damage so you can dish things out, but he's preferring to go the more single target route, I guess you could say.
Yeah, this Fresh Pro on this Slither entertaining me with his double stack taking Slither using his wall of wards to manage to beat out the Ancients there, so nicely done from him. I'm finding that quite entertaining, this Slither play so far, managing as well as he has throughout. Silhouette, however, has picked up an Invis rune and is heading her way towards middle. We're going to have to see if she can manage to pick up a kill on this Corrupted Disciple, who has Magnus waiting in the wings, hoping for something to happen. Question is he going to be able to react fast enough and be able to do anything about it? But Silhouette now probably has vision of the waiting Magnus, so they know what's coming. Throwing out the stun. Here they go. They're going to try and take down Corrupted Disciple. Magnus actually just steam bathing to no real super effect at that moment, but...
Well, he was gonna run in and stun both of them, but
yeah.
Flux had ultimated, which
I
things
see.
out of position, so he kind of held off on it and waited.
Okay. So yeah, I guess a nice little bit from each team there. You know, Magma's sitting and waiting patiently, but unfortunately, Silhouette being invis as she was, did kind of see that coming. And that her actual grapple, her tree grapple, was a nicely thrown one there to where it almost stunned Magnus where he was sitting. So if it had been just a little bit different placement there, it probably would have gone ahead and scored the stun on Magnus. Not sure if that was intentional or a plot, you know, an attempted, but nicely done there. As defense tower in middle going to be going down to these elementals from Tempest. A nice. I gotta say this is. I'm not used to such a strong you know, push game coming out here.
I think that's Fresh Pro and Slither. That's the new recipe for Soul's Bulwark, right? The 2 ring mails.
Yeah, 2 ring mails, and then the recipe is 700. I want to say. So. Yeah,
so it looks like he's going for it, so they're gonna be pushing early. This is one of the situations where you have where one team just can outpush you earlier game. It's just a matter of you farming up and outlasting them. That once they hit your secondary towers or your base towers, you're farmed up enough that you can kind of counter them and start turning the tide of the game. So even though things look like they're in MSI's favor, and in fact they obviously are, that's kind of the position that COL's in right now. That they just have to wait it out.
Yeah, they got to do their best to defend where they can and when they can, but not make any really, you know, wholeheartedly foolish decisions as far as, you know, well, we've got to do something now, so let's do this because they're beating us now, so we've got to make a move. Oh, and speaking of Soul's Bulwark, we do see the positive Soul's Bulwark being used on Corrupted Disciple as well. It's currently switched to the positive 5 armor radius on it, putting him at the above the magical 15 AC that I was talking about earlier, that MSI's No Tail had made mention of before. What does that actually net him as far as damage reduction? At 16 armor, he's got a 50% damage reduction from physical. So that's definitely significant.
Yep.
Oh, and Kongor going down. That's what I get for doing armor calculations. Kongor going down very swiftly, actually, right now. And Silhouette going to be the one picking that up, correct? As she does do so. Also going for the newly nerfed Alchemist Bones on Silhouette there as well. So, still definitely, I would consider them still very viable. The 20-second cooldown added onto them should help some. Oh, and Tempest did not have enough mana for his ultimate, but Flux did go ahead and use his pulse to try and drag people away there. Oh, might have been doing it independently since he was up top. As we're going to see Corrupted Disciple. Oh, he did not get denied by the creeps there. It looked like the Ebolas were going to get the last shot there, but unfortunately did not. So no deny going out for that kill. So I guess they did a swap there. They went for the Kraken and traded off a Corrupted Disciple. So not probably what I would want to trade, but
kind of even.
Yeah, it's kind of even, but I would think that they're going to be wanting to lean.
At this stage of the game, it's actually in COL's favor because that allowed their supports to really pick up some experience, which they really need. Yeah,
they are certainly a little bit low right now. He did go ahead and pick up level 8 on Magnus just after that creep wave. What are we looking at on item pickups? I feel like, you know, after some of these, Flux does have his portal key picked up, along with his Ghost Marchers and Ring of the Teacher, and a little bit of magic armor from Mystic Vestments. Magnus still sitting on Striders, rocking out the Ward and Mana Battery. Soul Stealer, what are you up to? He has his portal key, Mighty Blade, and Steam Boots picked up so far on him, along with Power Supply. Andromeda sitting on Striders, doing the nice warding job that, you know, basically is expected of every Andromeda. And Corrupted Disciple, as we mentioned earlier, sitting with the Soul's Bulwark, the Helm of the Black Legion, and Mystic Vestments, along with the Ghost Marchers and Power Supply. Do you want to go ahead and cover on the Hellborn side?
Yeah, sure. Fly on Tempest, gonna have his Steam Boots going for a Shrunken Head with that Mighty Blade, and has his Portal Key. He's had that for quite a while. And Ring of the Teacher, Bottle of Tears. Let's see, Demented Shaman, with the amount of pushing they've had going on, even the Demented Shaman has some items, has Steam Boots, has Power Supply, and got his Ward of Sight and Counter Wards, of course. Kraken has a typical build, just Ghost Marchers and full out tank with Helm of the Black Legion and Shaman's Headdress. Next item I would have suspected would have been the Demonic Breastplate, but since it's being picked up by Fresh Pro, he'll probably want to go for a Behemoth's Heart, I'd imagine, or Portal Key of his own. Let's see, No Tail on Silhouette. He may have gone the Oh dear.
Yeah, lots of action going down here as the Soul Stealer's getting caught into this Kraken ultimate, and Kraken kind of shoving him there into the edge, gonna get that extra damage. Andromeda going down as well. Silhouette trying to pursue onto Flux here. His portal key is... Oh, he doesn't have enough mana for it.
Yeah, he actually burned all his mana trying to help save his teammates, but they're gonna back off.
Well, that's...
Alright, where was I?
You
I'm not
just
sure
mentioned
if
the
no-kill on
Behemoth's Heart
Silhouette.
pickup on Kraken, possibly, and Silhouette.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure if he got the Alchemist Bones. I think he just got it because he's having trouble in lane farming, so he picked it up and it would help boost his farm if he was having an easier time in lane. I don't think he would have necessarily picked it up, but it's neither here nor there. He did in fact pick it up, and it's gonna help his farm. He's sitting at 2-2 and 2, so even though he was having a little trouble in the early stages of the game, he's recovered quite nicely. He's at 390 gold per minute, best on his team. In fact, they've all doing quite well for themselves. Yeah, 4 out of 5 of them are over 300 gold per minute, the sole exception being the Demented Shaman. Alright, so Fresh Pro, last one up on that Slither, has his Steam Boots, Helm of the Black Legion.
Oh, negative
Souls
armor
Bulwark.
souls. There we go.
And, well, he's farming with it right now, so negative armor is going to help him out more than
I see.
the positive one.
Wasn't watching.
I assume in a team fight he'll change it. That Conqueror, he also had it on negative. Oh, action up top as, yeah.
Oof, yeah, Andromeda going down in a hurry to the combination coming out from the
Just like
Hellborn.
Supernova.
Nice.
Alright, so Puzzle Box, Neophyte's book. He'll probably, well, like I said, I assume he's going Puzzle Box with the Neophyte's book, but he could just as well be going for the Tablet of Command. Just gonna have to wait it out. Oh, in fact, gonna go for Gnome's Wisdom with that one.
Oh, so he did.
Yeah, I thought Tempest was gonna be the one to pick it up since he had a Ringlet Teacher as well, but looks like he just picked it up for his jungling, which is considered, it's actually considered kind of newbie. People are always saying, oh, if you need a Ringlet Teacher to jungle. Oh, their action up top.
Oh, Magnus ultimate coming out. Nicely done, though, on the, was there a...
Yep, Flux Ult with the Magnus combination,
There we
like you
go.
were saying earlier on.
Kraken slowing things down a little bit for the escape, so... really unfortunate that they only managed to get one kill out of that turn of events there. Or did they go ahead and pick up Slither and he just came back with a vengeance? As a swap coming out from onto Corrupted, gonna sacrifice herself. Nicely done though, does manage to save Corrupted Disciple from an untimely death. Unfortunately running into Slither, who came his way back up from mid. The taunt going out, and double tap coming up for Silhouette. So, oh, such a turn of events going out as Magnus got a very nice ultimate stun combo, and the Flux ultimate coming in there into play. Very nicely conducted from the Legion team, just not enough going out. They can't quite...
One of those things where there's a lot of pyrotechnics, but at the end of the day, it's just like flashy. Didn't really do that much.
Also, we see Silhouette has picked up a Nullstone now.
Yeah, he really likes that build, going for a defensive Nullstone as his first item before he really gets anything else. He goes, yeah, the Nullstone, Shrunken Head, and then he'll get really offensive items. Jumping on Kraken, but not such a good idea.
Yeah, that's one way you could say it. But look at the power of this negative armor aura. This is what I was talking about as far as the impact of this Soul's Bulwark. It is just insane the amount of damage that you can do to these buildings. Tempest Ultimate coming out did pick up a kill onto Magnus, not really too much to follow up there. Soul Stealer getting a nice ultimate off, able to take out the token onto Silhouette, but Silhouette coming back angry as hell, gonna take down that Soul Stealer, and looks like Corrupted Disciple might be able to get out. Yes, he is. Now he's stealing the damage. How will he be able to do it? The stun coming out onto Silhouette. There we go, the finishing up onto that Silhouette as immediate buyback. Coming back, where is she heading towards? She is TPing top and running her way towards the action, I guess, or immediately to go farm. Nope, to farm.
Yeah,
so
it's still early enough in the game that it makes sense. He wants to keep his level advantage. You might question it as a rage buyback, but the reason why people buy back this early in the game is if you have a level advantage, the amount of time you spend dead, you'd rather lose the gold and keep your level advantage as opposed to waiting it out and just wait till you revive.
Well, just for a point of reference for the viewers and everything, currently we are 28 minutes into this game, almost 30 minutes in, and MSI has a 16,000 experience lead and an 18,000 gold lead so far, thanks to that really powerful pushing strat that they've been sticking with so far. You know, being able to pick up all the towers, pretty much. You've just got the one defensive tower left bottom, and in the meanwhile, Complexity Gaming only able to pick up 2 towers so far, so... That's a lot of gold waiting to happen, but it definitely helps this MSI team out. Since, I mean, the hero kill score, it's only 12 to 18,
wow.
so not a tremendous amount of hero kill gold being calculated in that.
Yeah, I didn't realize how it happened, but the new effect of the nullstone, he burned the nullstone on no-tail swap to his illusion as Slither.
Oh, Slither. Or
yeah,
Slither.
not gonna slither his way out of that one.
We need a little drum kit thing with you.
So it actually doesn't remove, because they made it so that if you used your, what is it, the first ability, the Death Lotus on Silhouette, your illusion would use it as well, so you can kind of screw people over. They won't know which one's the real you. But if he swaps with his illusion, his nullstone actually still appears. The animation still shows on his illusion, so people would actually be able to tell if he swaps.
Huh.
Kind of dumb, because like before, if you burn someone's nullstone, you couldn't actually tell. So now that they implemented it, it's actually harmful. I mean, I guess they want to make it easier for people to notice. I don't know, or just make a cool little thing. They probably want to do it to make it easier for people to notice, but it does not affect his illusion. So yeah, you can tell if somebody swaps.
Looking at the warding game here is kind of what I was trying to do. MSI's Nova, of course, very well known for his support and general warding capabilities. Keeping some nice wards up this game. Interesting one actually being placed down closer to the Legion base. A nice offensive ward being placed down there to keep an eye on the action. I'm not really sure exactly how much vision that gains. I think it gets over to the tower, or very close to the tower at least. And probably grants some vision of that upper lane maybe.
Portal
See
key
them rolling
up
out.
on Magnus.
Portal keys all around this game. Yes, we do go ahead and see the portal key pick up onto Magnus. Kraken, has he managed to pick up any? I think Shaman's Headdress is one thing that he didn't have before whenever I had called off his items. As they're going to try. Oh, nice disjointing going on to Soul Stealer there. He went ahead and managed to blink out as the Kraken Torrent was mid-flight. Managed to get out of there, not knowing, of course, that Demented Shaman was there to back him up as well, but just trying to avoid the potential of a bad situation. Having Shrunken Head.
He doesn't have to know he's there, but he knows something's up, because for him to be pushed up that far in the lane, he knows that there's someone backing him up. Although
maybe they're thinking they can set up their own gank situation, as
no, he immediately gets out of there. Yeah.
There we go. They're going to go ahead and back it on up. Because their daddy taught him good.
Let's see, Shrunken Head finished on Tempest, so he's good to go for the next fight. I think, yeah, Flux's ultimate does in fact go through Shrunken Head, so he'll have that going for him. Or at least I remember it going through Shrunken Head.
And another Kongor going to be going down here potentially, as Tempest doing a little bit of the early tanking. Looks like Slither now going to be doing that as well, still using the negative armor aspect to his Soul's Bulwark, dropping Kongor's armor down to 1.5, so all that physical damage going to be doing a nice little bit of work. Kraken doing some advanced scouting.
You wouldn't even get the completed Demonic Breastplate until way later in the game. It's just not really economical, I guess you want to.
Oh, here comes the Courier Scout from the Legion. They are going to note that they are doing Kongor, and it's not going to be fast enough, so going to go ahead and back that Courier up and get back out of there. As Kraken's wanting to pick someone off. He has finished his Demonic Breastplate now. He must have had that flown to him, which is why I saw the Courier from the Hellborn flying in that same direction. So Kraken's sitting on a fat piece of farm right now. What is he up to currently? 417 gold per minute. No-Tail sitting at 505 gold per minute. Andromeda taking some serious damage, managing to TP out there before being picked off by Silhouette. So nicely done there on that. Not a whole lot of room for error on that, since he was nearly taken down. But it's token of life on this Silhouette, and now going to be charging towards bottom, hoping to be able to pick up yet another tower, and possibly even more. So, since the Hellborn does seem to kind of be rallying in this general direction, Legion doing the same.
I mentioned earlier that COL is going to have to just sit back and wait things out until they could farm up, but with the level advantage MSI had early in the game, they're just pressing it, and Complexities really has no chance to catch up because they don't have the farm, or, well, most notably the levels on their supports is really hurting them right now.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the game where you've got a 20,000 experience and a 22 almost thousand gold lead difference here, It's just, that is so hard to overcome. As Flux coming in with a nice ultimate, followed up by the Magnus ultimate and stun. Tempest ultimate, though, wrecking face here as there it goes. That's going to be a genocide. Going out, no one managing to die on the Hellborn.
Soul Stealer.
Well played. Did he not get his shrunken off?
He didn't.
No.
He jumped in there as Tempest jumped in and ulted, so he jumped right into the Tempest black hole.
Oh, dang. As we do go ahead and see the concede coming out from Complexity Gaming, formerly DWI. Well played. Got to say, well played to Fnatic MSI in Game 1. This is a best-of-3 series, so we're at least going to see a Game number 2. Be sure to check back in with us for that in just a few minutes here. Again, this has been the Game Replays Tournament Season 4 Finals matchup between Complexity Gaming, or DWI, versus Fnatic MSI. Thank you very much to our sponsors, TeamSpeak 3, Own TV, and SteelSeries Professional Gaming, and we look forward to seeing you in Game 2. Do you have anything else you'd like to say, Onaprayer?
Nothing much. Really well-rounded team that, I don't know if it's built around the new Souls Bulwark item, but definitely fully utilizes it, so it was nice to see.
Indeed. So we will see you guys in Game 2. Take care.